So we're still at 467 kilometers and 66% battery, but I may plug in those chargers just to show you guys what speeds can be achieved with each of those chargers. So why I bought this charger is that it is in fact a level 1 or a level 2 charger. And that's because the end that it comes with, if you'll notice, is the NEMA 620 plug. So instead of having two vertical plugs there's one horizontal. But also in the box it comes with this adapter. So you can plug this adapter on there and it turns it into a normal 120 volt 15 amp charger. So let's plug it in with the normal adapter and just see what we'd get in the truck. It's going to be very little, but we'll take a look. And then if you look here on my garage wall, I actually have a 1620 plug right here. Apparently these are pretty common wherever you're going to plug in high wattage appliances or in garages and things like that. So I thought that this would be the perfect emergency charger to keep in the truck. I'm a little disappointed in this Viver charger screen. Other than the power button and the amp button here on the top, there's no screen. If we look at our other Viver charger, it's got all our information on here. We're set to 240, and then if we push A, we can cycle through 32 amp, 16, 20. Right now we're on 32. But this one here, if you push A, you'll just see that this flashes. It goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1. And if we look in the book, it shows us 16 amp, 13 amp, 10 amp, 8 amp, 16 amp. So I'm assuming that 1 is 16 amp. Okay, I plugged it in. It is charging. Okay, actually, hold on here. Charge cord limit 8 amps. Okay, we're definitely going to... So it looks like the level 1 charging is actually limited by the truck to 12 amps, which kind of sucks. Okay, so now it's on 4, which should be 16 amp. We know the truck is only going to handle 12, but... Okay. The cable will at least pass the maximum that the truck can handle on level 1 through it. Okay, so 3 kilometers an hour is what that cable is capable of adding to the car. So overnight, 10 hours, you would gain 30 kilometers. And if we do the math on that, we're actually going to gain more than 3 kilometers an hour. Okay, we could do the math. It's 120 times 12 amps is like 1.4 kilowatt hours. We know that we're going 3.4 kilometers on 1 kilowatt hour. So it's, in effect, it should be something like 4.8 kilometers that we're going to gain an hour. Still, it's nothing. It's piddly. But this is an emergency cable only. Remember, it also comes with that adapter. So if we remove it, it goes to the NEMA 620 plug, which is 240 charging. I have the 240 plug back there on the wall. Let's see what the car gets when we plug that in. Okay, so I removed the adapter, and worst case scenario, this is going to cause my breaker... Wait a minute, what's going on here? This is backwards. What? Oh, I'm confused. I thought when I ordered this, like, I looked and I was like, okay, yeah, we've got one of these plugs in the garage. Apparently I don't. Very happy to report that the heated steering wheel and heated seats in the Silverado are more than warm. This thing heats right up to the top, which surprised me because there is the light bar at the top of the steering wheel, but the back of the steering wheel still heats up. And the seats, I put them on 1, and I find they're too warm. So, I mean, we're not in the middle of winter yet, so you probably want those higher settings in winter, but more than happy with the heated steering wheel and seats. The CX-90 Carrie's car was not happy. They were not warm enough. So, bonus. All right, so we're gonna leave the truck for a couple hours, and Jeff's gonna install a Tonneau. He says he can't find anything online for these. Like I said, I had problems myself trying to find. I saw guys that had done a couple of custom jobs. They look kind of wonky. I didn't want to do that to a truck this pretty. So we'll let Jeff take care of that. He'll get it going. He says he has full confidence he'll make this fit. So there it is, guys. There is the Truxedo soft tonneau. And Jeff had no problems installing it. He even put some extra rubber seals in close up at the top. He said it's kind of a different design, so he put some extra rubber in there. That's why I go to him, because he does custom stuff. And let's just take a look. This is pretty cool. So if you notice the way that this seal sits on the outside, it's over top of this. So Jeff suggests that when we close the tailgate, that we're going to actually pop this up, then close the tailgate again, and so this seal sits on the outside. So I mean, most people just close it on the door on that, and that's fine, but if you do it the way that he showed me, that'll keep all of the water out of there. So you just pop this with this latch here, then you can roll this up all the way to the front. So essentially, Jeff installed this rail system on the existent rail that's in the back of the Silverado, and it just clamps on. And then when you roll the tonneau all the way up, of course, we can latch it with these hooks, and then there's a release right here. This is the important part. Why I went with the soft one that we can roll up is the release. I can pop that, lift the whole thing out of there, and then when we put down this back wall, you don't have something going across there. We can put in whatever we want, 11 feet worth of stuff right through that opening, right to the back of the tailgate there. And that's why it's important to have this. And this stuff is really high quality. He said, you know, he knows guys have had these on there for years and years, no issues. It's very durable stuff. And I can see and hear what he's talking about. The actual truck goes into a hole in there. So he's put some extra rubber pads down here. So it won't be 100% waterproof, but also this roof covers that. So unless you have a driving rain coming in on an angle, there's not going to be a lot getting in here. So that whole back edge is covered by the roof line. So once we get it rolled up, close the tailgate first, then insert these metal bars into here. And then once we've done that, we can snap it down. But then, if you do it that way, this seal, like I said, is on the outside of the back tailgate. Then you can actually come over here, lift these, pull them tight, and then reseal all down the side. And that Velcro is really heavy duty. I can't do it with one hand, but you can tighten that up really nice and tight. It's very sturdy. $1,200 installed. I'm happy with that. Okay, so let's look at this Midgate situation with this truck. I've flipped the seats up. We're going to put this back wall down, and we're going to take a look at how this is going to work with the tonneau cover. That glass comes out of there, and I actually am thinking about using this just to camp in, so let's put all of that down. Okay, so I've got the seats folded down, including the entire back wall, which literally takes a minute or less to do. You remove the glass, clip it in, then finish lowering everything down. That gives us access to the back. And what I plan on doing is just throw my futon right in here. Futon goes right here and into the back, and then you sleep under the tonneau. That means the window is still open. So as an option, we could spread this out across here. It's thermal, and block that off if we want, or I could just put a screen across there to keep the bugs out. Tons of room in here. Yeah, it'd be a little more comfortable with my futon mattress underneath me instead of this hard plastic, but it's gonna fit, it's gonna work. So if I'm up like 4 inches on the futon mattress, I've still got all kinds of room in here. And lengthwise, not a problem. I've got 11 feet. Come on, Mr. Gage, get up here. Oh, you're even bringing your ball? We're going, oh, show the people your best side. Yeah, that's it right there. What do you think, buddy? We did try to put this down for him and take him out to the cottage. And he went into the back and wasn't smart enough to not jump out of the moving truck as soon as we got close to the cottage, and he realized where we were. So that was a failed experiment. We're not letting him into the bed of the truck anymore. Well, the truck is moving. So it rained last night, and I guess the new tonneau is not waterproof. I see a couple of runs of water in there. Now, we kind of suspected that would be the case because up at the front there, it's got some weird corners that you got to get into, And Jeff down at Carter's did put extra foam in there, but he told me, he said there's still a tiny little space on each end. And so it rained pretty hard last night, and I'll show you how much water came in. So up in each top corner, the water did come down. And then here in the center. So I just got a notice that the truck has finished charging to 80%, and it's showing 563 kilometers as its guess. And that's a little bit higher than when I got it, even though we were doing, you know, we've done 1,000 kilometers since I got the truck, and we did 200 towing the trailer. When I first got this, it was showing 555 guesstimate on an 80% charge. So it's only up 8 kilometers, but like I say, it is up, and we've been towing with the truck. I did a highway test this morning. We went out and dropped Kaylee off at the pet rescue where she was volunteering. And I was surprised to see that another 70 kilometers on the highway with the Tonneau doing 110 kilometers an hour. And I was still getting 3.1 kilometers per kilowatt hour, which was not any improvement with the Tonneau cover on here. Maybe just a little tiny improvement. I can't remember. It was around 3 without it. So it did not improve as much as I thought we were going to. More testing required. Now this is the soft Tonneau, and it does kind of blow around. You can hear it vibrating, see it vibrating. Does that cause some, you know, air drag, some resistance? I don't know. But it didn't improve as much as I was hoping. I was hoping to get like 3.4 while doing 110 on the highway with the Tonneau. Didn't happen. And in Mitsubishi news, today is Friday. They told me the car was going to go in the shop on Wednesday. I haven't heard anything from them. Surprise! There's our guesstimate with an 80% charge. It actually gained a kilometer since I got the notice on my phone. And I'll show you guys in the last 175 kilometers, driving around town and on the highway a little bit this morning. Our average is way up. 3.7 kilometers per kilowatt hour. And then this is how much we've traveled since I got the truck and what our average is. Now remember, we were doing some towing in there, a couple 100 kilometers worth of towing. But overall, I think this is where we're going to be closer to 4 with just driving around without any trailers on here. The amount of kilometers I'm getting in this truck is so much higher than I thought that even charging it to 80%, I don't have to charge this truck every day. I don't have to charge this truck every second day. You know, my normal driving is under 200 kilometers, like 100 kilometers a day quite often does it. So to have this thing sitting here with 565 kilometers, you know, I might even charge this thing only once every 4 days. Who knows? To put in a 20% charge in the truck takes 6 hours with the 32 amp charger. 80% charge is 564 kilometers. 20% charge, 141. Quick math in my head. I think it's 141 is 1/4 of that. So 6 hours with your home charger to put in 140 kilometers. Not the fastest thing. So I think personally, the 50 amp charger what I bought is the better route to go if you've got full EV. Just my 2 cents. If you're just charging this every night, you know, many people can definitely get by with the 32 amp charger. Personally, I want the 50 amp. And I'm going to get him to install it as soon as he can get here and get it installed. Stupid Mitsubishi. I'm thinking that I'm not going to call them this time, guys. We're just going to wait and see how many days it takes them to call me. The car has now been down there for 20 days sitting in their lot, and when they told me they were going to get it in on Wednesday, I was like, great, give me a call and let me know what you find out, what our next step is, what we're going to do. And I get the feeling that I'm not going to hear from them until I call them. So I'm willing to let this go another week, and then I'm going to give them the old both barrels. All hell's going to break loose. When we get to 1 month of that car sitting down there, I'm going to let them have it. Again. What does that mean? I'm not sure. But me and Gage are going to come up with a plan.